If you're trying to read more real estate investing books in 2018 but just can't find the time, this playlist is going to be for you. I'm going to start a series of short book summaries on some of the most important concepts you need to know from some of the real estate investing books that are on the shelves today. So, I'm here at a college where people learn like art history and underwater basket weaving and sociology, but let's see if anybody's learning about real estate. So this one, I'm going to go through Buy, Rent, and Hold by Robert Irwin, and I'm going to talk about two concepts that you need to know from that book. With all the real estate investing seminars that are out there and everybody pitching their sales course or their way to find deals on every social media platform, one of the most underutilized resources that we all have available to us is the public library. I mean, come here, let's look at the shelf here. Look at all these titles we have here on every single facet of real estate that you could possibly imagine. So let's go ahead and open up Buy, Rent, and Hold and look at some of the key concepts it has to offer. Hands down, the most valuable thing he talks about right off the bat is what he calls the rental resistance level. If you check out my ebook, PCS Landlord, I also refer to it as the price of diminishing returns and also the price of break. So basically the highest price that you're going to get before you start having diminishing returns as a renter. Why is this important to us? Let's go ahead and look at one of the markets where I invest in and pull up some publicly available data on median rent levels. If you look at the median rent levels, you can see where that median rent is. You can also see historical trends of where that median rent has been. But this doesn't really tell us what Robert is going to define as the rental resistance level. What he's going to talk about is the rental resistance level is that price above which it's going to be very difficult to find a renter. A lot of times in this market that we're highlighting here specifically, your median rent is going to be above the rental resistance level. So why could you see that? One of the things Robert doesn't necessarily talk about, but is true, is that median rent is based on available rental properties. Once a property goes off the market, it's no longer available as a rental to be factored into the median rent. So when you look, that median rent price for whatever market you're looking at is probably above what Robert is going to call the rental resistance level. So it's important for us to go ahead and do a little bit deeper digging. So let's go ahead and look on Zillow for a specific market. As you go ahead and look at available properties and you look at them over an extended period of time, you can see which ones are getting listed and then taken off the market very quickly, which would be a more fair market price. Whereas when you see the available properties, specifically those have been sitting for a while that factor in heavily to that median rental price, those are probably going to be above what Robert's going to call the rental resistance level. The rental resistance level is key for your property analysis because you need to know where that resistance level is, because that's the max rent you're going to be able to get reasonably in that market. One of the things I talk about a little bit more in my book, PCS Landlord, is that once you get above a certain purchase price, it's going to be difficult for you to capture that additional income and rent. And one of the reasons is because, going back to what Robert says here in Buy, Rent, and Hold, is the rent that you're trying to get for that more expensive home is above the rental resistance level, and you're going to have to take a discount to be able to get a tenant in that property. Another thing that Robert talks about is how to forecast a market downturn. Don't we wish we could all do that? So I'll take this one with a grain of salt, but I like the data that he brings up. When he's talking about forecasting a market downturn, what he mentions is that the number of available units on the market will increase as prices begin to decrease. So prices decrease in a market, people begin putting their homes up for sale. Once the inventory starts peaking out and prices start reaching a bottom, now people are going to say, well, they remember a year ago, 2 years ago, when Bob and John's house next door was just sold for so much more money than houses are selling for right now. So with that history in the back of their minds, they begin taking their houses off the market. So as this inventory begins to decline, Robert's going to say that the price is going to remain stable. So Robert's contention, as you can see from the graph that I've thrown up here from his book, that when prices remain stable but inventory begins declining is when you're going to begin to see a market increase. So interesting, fun fact. There you go. Anyhow, the last thing that I want to talk about, we talked about the rental resistance level. We also talked about the how to forecast a market bottom from Robert's book. The last thing that I want to point out is the importance of having a maintenance schedule. So while this may seem super intuitive, it's a good thing to hit on. He has a list of items along with scheduled life cycles, along with his repair costs for each one of those items. So it's great setting up a cost estimator over the life of your home for that, so you can prepare for those expected expenses. So you can see from the prices here, this book was written in the 90s, but that'd be pretty sweet if we could still pay those for those prices for those repairs. All right, anyhow, that's Buy, Rent, and Hold by Robert Ingram. Hope you enjoyed it, and 5 minutes is a little quicker than reading the whole book. If you do want the book, I put a link to Robert Ingram's book on Amazon down below if you want to click the affiliate link. Also, if you want some more about my take on rental resistance levels, go ahead and click on my link for my book PCS Landlord down below.